So, ready to learn about Access? Microsoft Access is one of the Microsoft programs, and this program is much different than the rest because basically it creates what are called databases. And databases are just collections of data, much like a phone book, which you may or may not have heard of, but any kind of collection of data. So think about it in terms like if you get on iTunes and you can see the name of the artist and the album and the length of the song and which track it is, that sort of thing. All that information, those would be fields, and all of those fields for, say, one song makes up what's called a record. And that record is one line in a database, and that database is created using Microsoft Access or some other database program. So databases consist of what are called database objects. You create database objects. And the basic building block object is a table. So when you create a database, you create a table. And that table has fields and things like first name, last name, address, city, state, zip. Those would be fields. And those fields make up, like I said, records. And it doesn't matter where you put in information in a database. For instance, you can create an object that's called a form, like an entry form, and you can fill out the form. But when you fill out the form, it puts the data into the table. So they're all related to that table there. You also can do what are called queries, which is to get specific information out of that table. So let's say that I just wanted first name, last names, and say phone numbers out of a list. And I have like first name and last name and address and city and state and zip and email and a whole bunch of stuff that I don't want. I just want first name, last name, and phone number. Well, you can run what's called a query. And then you can tell it, I just want those three fields. For that matter, you can run a query even more detailed by going into what's called design view and saying, I want first name, last name, phone number of just seniors. Then I would also put in grade, and then I would set the criteria to grade 12. And then it would only give me the seniors, first name, last names, and phone numbers. So that's kind of how that all works. And then there's a thing called a report. That's the fourth database object. And a report is just a nicer way of displaying the data from a table or a query, because they're really not very pretty. They're just kind of like really basic word-looking tables. So anyway, that is the general gist of what an Access database is. So hope you enjoy learning about it.